Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I would like to flip through my entries for 2020 Vision, Living Life Through a God's Lens. This is from By the Well for God. It was a great devotional. If you didn't get to check it out, this devotional was put together by the team from By the Well for God, the creative team. So we all got a chance to contribute, even myself, and it was really special. I know some people missed out. They are planning on restocking this kit mid-February. So if you miss out the first time, I highly suggest you grab it. It is a great devotional, great for any time of the year. So I just wanted to walk you through my entries. I do have an unboxing of this kit that I will link below and a couple of different process videos that I will also link, but let's just jump straight into the kit. I wrote day 1 of the devotional and it is called Press On, and it has us looking at Philippians 3:10 through 14. And for this entry, I created this alcohol ink card tip-in because you can see I had already journaled on this page. So I used alcohol ink to create this fun background, did some stamping with alphas on top, added a few of the alpha tile stickers that I love, and of course the GG stamp, which is so adorable, and the glasses that say 2020. And then I just added a tip-in and a prayer in here about how my goal for 2020 is the same as my goal every year, which is moving forward in faith and trying to become more of the woman that God designed me to be. So that is my entry for day 1. Day 2 was written by the lovely Gail, and it was entitled Finding God, and I journaled in Jeremiah 29:13. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And for this devotional, I had a really great time playing with some of the, I believe this is actually Neocolor. It might be Neocolor. I think I did the smush technique on a piece of plastic paper. And then I came back with my foil quill freestyle pen, and I did, you can see some of the shimmer here. I did some of the stars in the background with these telescopes, the By the Well for God truck, which is their symbol and their logo right here with all of the goodies in the back. Pray, look, and find. So I love the phrase, what you pray for, you look for, and what you look for, you find. And that is a lot of what Gail's devotion had us looking at. So that is day 2. Day 3 of the devotional is called Boldly Surrender by Missy, and it has us looking at Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And the great thing about this particular devotional is that it lined up perfectly with a series that we were doing in church. And so I added this little part, of course, Boldly Surrender as the title. And then I added, I am a tourist. And the phrase, whole life disciples are shaped by the word, not the world. So don't be conformed, but be transformed. Loved that phrase. I did all this cluster of cameras right here and used these stickers that were included in the kit. And of course, one of the die cut pieces as the tab up top. And as you can see on this page and many of my other pages, I was loving splatters for this kit, and I'm super sad to see them go. Day 4 was by Sweet Anne, and it is called Open Our Eyes, and I had a great time journaling this particular page. She has us looking at 2 Kings 6:8 through 17, and it's all about opening our eyes and seeing beyond what is in front of us, the trial we are in. So for this page, what I did was some shading on the back using some weathered wood distress oxide ink. And then I came back and added these circles, which were part of the die cut pieces. And within the circles, to create a magnifying glass, I used the chalk ink, the Versamagic chalk ink. And what are those fantastic? So I'll make sure to link those below. But I came and colored over the top to add color, meaning that when we look through God's lens, we can see so much more detail and see just so much more possibility and color in our life. So I had a great time, incorporated one of the feathers into this lovely page. And this kit and these bold colors just spoke to my heart. I loved it. It was such a fun way to start the new year. Day 5 was written by Lindsay, and it's called How and Not Why, and she shares a bit of her testimony in this devotional, and it is beautiful. And I've been watching her for a really long time and had already known some of the parts of her testimony, but seeing it all put together was just wonderful. For this page, I had fun with some shimmer spray, so you can see this is the Dilutions shimmer, and I gessoed the page in advance so I did not end up with a lot of bleed through, which is awesome. I did some of the shimmer spray. I actually did some tone-on-tone stamping, which is a little bit hard to see right there. Did embossing on this beautiful owl, and then had plenty of room to write in some journaling. One of the things I loved about this kit is that because it was all these ladies that I've been on a team with and just have gotten to know through Instagram and social media, a lot of their stories really touched home, and it really inspired a lot of journaling. So I had a great time in this kit writing a lot more than I have recently, and it was really inspiring in that way. Day 6 was by Lori, one of the owners of By the Well for God, and hers was entitled Treasured Trials. And I do have a process video for this one, but basically we are in 2 Corinthians and talking about trials, and this one happens to be, but we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not us. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our bodies. So this particular day was talking about trials a whole lot, and I'll link the video, but I really enjoyed this devotional and what I got out of it. And then I had a great time with this page. I did do a lot more mixed media with this kit. You can see some shimmer on the page. These are all paper pieced together, these really sweet robot stamps, and yeah, just had fun putting this one together as well. Day 7 of the devotional was written by Jessa, and it is all about trust. And it's really easy to trust when things are going well, when you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Jessa has us looking at times when you can't see, when you are wandering in the dark and you feel lost, and how you can build a faith on trust even in those dark times. So she has us in Proverbs. This is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways know him, and he will make your paths straight. So for this page, I had fun with some Neocolor in the background, creating kind of a mixed media feel, stamped my little Gigi girl and colored her in, layered in some other elements, and then I cut these large letters from my Silhouette Cameo, or using my Silhouette Cameo, using the papers that coordinated with the kit. I love that By the Well for God has started creating these coordinating papers. They are so fun to play with, and I had a great time adding that element in. For day 8, Tom added his devotional called Living for Christ, and it was all about how we can live every moment for Christ, so that at the end of our lives, we don't feel like we wasted any time. And to me, that just struck me as living a colorful life, living a life out loud that invites questions from others so that you can spread the joy of Christ. So this particular one had us looking in Deuteronomy 6:4-5, and I added in these feathers. This was another element that was available to coordinate with the kit. I have a lot of fun trying to figure out how to incorporate these without them like taking up too much space or being overwhelming on the page. So I kind of hid them behind this paper piece. Again, this is one of the paper pieces that coordinated with the kit, and I used those alpha stickers to add the title, Live a Colorful Life, accented with a few of the sunglasses that came with the kit, and added a title using one of the die cuts. Loving how this kit turned out. Here is my entry for day 9 by Lenora, which is called Steady in Prayer. And I just loved her entry and her testimony that she shared about praying in all circumstances because God is reigning above us. And so she had us looking at Psalm 29, 10, and 11. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned, King forever. The Lord gives his people strength. The Lord blesses his people with peace. And for this, I just used the watercolors that came in the kit to create this ocean feel. This was one of those pages that didn't turn out in my in person how it totally looked in my head, but I was still pleased to work on it. And I think next time I would just use something different, or maybe not add in these black outlines, because I might have liked it a little bit more before I did that. But again, some paint splatters. I used the Alpha stamp that came out this month to add in these, and then outline to add a little bit more color. And of course, love me some Alpha block tile stickers. So that is day 9. Day 10 of the 2020 devotion was by Judy, who writes several of the devotionals a year for By the Well for God. And it was all about praise and about the life verse that her parents gave her. And that is in Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. I will boast in the Lord. The humble will hear and be glad. Proclaim the Lord's greatness with me. Let us exalt his name together. And this was actually a pretty simple page to do. This is one of the stamps that comes with the Focus stamp set that's available over at By the Well for God. And I just kind of pieced it together to create the longer title for Focus On. Did some hand lettering for the word praise. And then I kind of blocked out these these camera stamps that were part of that extra stamp set that you could get to coordinate, and loved using the different colors that coordinated with the kit, the large mega date stamp, of course, and adding a few little hearts just to connect the verse to the word praise. So that's day 10. Okay, guys, this is for day 11, and it is by Sweet Monica, and it's called New Year, No Fear. And I loved all of the devotions in this devotional set, and they all really hit home. But something about Monica's, you guys, I read it and it brought tears to my eyes. So I loved this devotion. It brought up just some things that were going on with me. And so this was a pretty simple page. It's really just a grouping of a lot of the die cuts and stickers that were in the kit, a simple stamp over here, and then I just used my typewriter to journal out a prayer. This is in, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and sound judgment. And my prayer is all about anger and dealing with anger and parenting, and that God has given me a spirit to be able to control. So I loved this particular devotion, and I really do like how this page came out, even though it was super simple to put together. Just, groupings of the die cuts, not a lot of work for this page, but a lot of feeling in the prayer. For day 12, the title of the devotion was Fear or Faith, and it was by Shannon, and loved doing this page. She had us looking in Isaiah. It was Isaiah 41:10, which is, of course, verse that's close to all of us, I believe. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold on to you with my righteous right hand. She also had us looking at the hymn, How Firm a Foundation, and that is what I typed out here, the last little part of that hymn, focusing on trusting God and knowing that God is with me at all times. And this was a fun page to do, just layering in some of the eyeglasses and coloring them in with colored pencils, added in my little Gigi stamp, and of course some layers of feathers. I had a great time. Again, I think I used up almost all of the feather parts, which is kind of remarkable, but so much fun. And again, the bright colors were a lot of fun to work with. Day 13 is called Magnify God Through Joy, and it was contributed by Candace, and it has us in Hebrews. So there were actually a bunch of scripture references in Candace's devotion, and I chose to journal in Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the reality of what is hoped for, the proof of what is not seen, for by it our ancestors won God's approval. So on this page, it was a little bit difficult. I had a lot of bleed through actually coming from this page on the back because of Distress Oxide inks that I had used. So what I did was add kind of just a very gentle covering of some more Distress Oxide to block that out some, and then use stickers and some of the washi tape from the kit. I did some definitions of some words that were in the verse right here, just because they really kind of stuck out to me as comparing what these different words mean and how they might relate to each other. So that's day 13. And last but not least is day 14 by Laura, and she has us looking in the little book of Jude that packs a big punch. And we are looking at the doxology that is in Jude. Now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling and to present you blameless before the presence of his glory with great joy, to the only God, our Savior, through Jesus Christ our Lord, be glory, majesty, dominion, and authority forever, authority before all time and now and forever. So that's what I was journaling on this page. I do have a process video for this that I will link. This was really just a stencil that I used from my stash and then traced it in with watercolor pencil, came back and added watercolors so that the pencil lines disappeared and it looked as if I could freehand snowflakes, which of course I cannot, but it was a fun technique to use. And then as always, paint splatters all over the page. And then I really wanted to write in the phrase, but God, because that's what Laura reminds us of, that we may stumble, we may fall, but God is always there. Again, I really did enjoy this devotion. If you are working through this devotion, let me know below and let me know how you are liking it. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful and gave you some jumping off points and some ideas. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that little bell to help notify you when I create a new video. I also have a new email list that is linked below, so feel free to sign up for that. I promise I won't spam your inbox, but just a little reminder, a little way to keep our little community going. So I hope you have a fantastic day. And as always, keep it creative.